Hey, it's your boy Jose from Big Meat Sports. How are you guys doing on this lovely Tuesday? This lovely Tuesday after a Heat win. First and foremost, thank you guys for checking into our podcast. Please check us out on all of our major platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, everything. But I do want to say, hey, the heat is on. The heat is on. And look, I am not going to be one of those people that said, "Oh, I knew it from the beginning that the Heat were, going to be up 3-1." No. But I am one of those Heat fans that believe in my team. Um there are some Heat fans out there that didn't want them to make the playoffs, that wanted them to get a better draft pick, and to me, I was not one of those people. And when you speak to these people, you kind of try to tell them it's most likely going to be one of those late round draft picks that we're going to have. And tell me, and I always tell those people, tell me the last time that one of those late round draft picks really hit. And it hasn't been for quite a long time. And some of you, I always say the Heat are in win now mode. And Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra and the team, the Heat organization, need to do a better job on surrounding Jimmy Butler with talent. Surround Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, surround them with talent, because this is our window of opportunity to do something. We were a Jimmy Butler 3-pointer away from making the finals, and we didn't do anything on this offseason. But we're gonna go back to Jimmy Butler scoring 56 points last night on the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, to me, I've never seen a performance like this in recent memory. The only things I can say that I've seen a performance that was probably up to this par was LeBron James carrying that Cavaliers team through Detroit Pistons and so on and so forth. And LeBron taking those Cavs teams that, when you look at the Cavs teams, you're like, who's on that team? And LeBron willed them to go to the finals. And I felt like this is one of those Jimmy Butler performances where it was almost like LeBron, where, yeah, I believe it was Detroit, LeBron versus Detroit, where LeBron just went off on the Detroit Pistons. And this is one of those games. He brought back to Dwayne Wade memories, when Dwayne Wade was carrying the team when we had nobodies, and willing them to a playoff win. I mean, 56 points. I don't know what it is with Jimmy Butler, and he's probably one of those rare guys that can turn on that switch, turn on that switch, and make it just all work. Like, he's not a 3-point shooter. He's not at all. But he is in the playoffs, and you can tell that it's just something about him when it comes to the playoffs, that he is who he is, man. And look, I want to show some of these highlights of Jimmy Butler going off, because it just doesn't justify itself.
Team in the first quarter in game 3, and it was huge. A screen by Love, a drive by Jimmy.
I mean, this is when in the first quarter he's going off.
Performance already with 11.
Dunking
Giannis
on
got
Giannis.
7. And just like that, the Heat down by 12, now trail by 20. 50% three-point shooting against Miami.
I mean,
here's a long shot, and a three by Butler.
I knew the game was probably going to be over around that time, because I knew Jimmy Butler was dialed in. When Jimmy Butler is dialed in like that, it's another realm. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, there's certain players that can get to that zone, and he's one of them. Um I do have to say, and and I'm just going off the top of my head, but he's has to be one of the top playoff performers in NBA history. I'm not one of those historians and I can go back and back, but in my recent memory, somebody that can take over a game like that, like how Jimmy Butler did, it's just phenomenal, man. But my thing is, we need somebody to, we're up 3-1 on the Bucks right now. We're up 3-1. And to me, it is very imperative that the Heat don't get too high and don't get too low. They need to, hey, we need to freaking take down the Bucks next game, because if we don't, then the pressure goes right back to Miami, coming back to Miami in game 6, and needing a win, because it's going to be hard to win in Milwaukee. But I just think that the Bucks are down right now, and you need to keep on pouring on them. And the Bucks are a very, very good team. Very, very good team. And this is one of those 3-1 series leading wins that I still don't feel comfortable. I still don't feel comfortable. Again, you have Giannis, one of the top players, one of the best players in the world. Uh, he's out there, and he's gonna try to put up a fight, but you have to stop the others. You can't let Brick Lopez score like 30 something points. And man, big old sloppy dog. When I mean, this guy is just throwing up some prayers out there, and he was on. I got to give it to him. He was on, but we need the others to step up to help out Jimmy Butler. Duncan Robinson is shooting like over 70% from the 3-point line this series. He went 3 for 3. I think he went 3 for 4 actually. But this Duncan Robinson is shooting at 70% in these playoffs. But we do need somebody else, man. And it sucks because I'm not getting anything from Bam. Um, you know, Kyle Lowry, this guy's old as shit. He's barely seeing the floor. I think he saw lots in the fourth quarter, just because he was playing decent defense. But you don't have Tyler Hero, so it's like, it's you're wondering who's gonna step up the next game, and we shall see, man. But Duncan and Caleb Martin did show up this past game with hitting crucial threes, and especially I think Duncan Robinson at the beginning, at the in that first half, scoring all of his 9 points in the first half, kept us in the game. And was that Robin to Jimmy Butler's Batman, because I just feel like the game was kind of slipping away early, and Jimmy Butler became the scoring Jimmy Butler that we wanted to. And then we needed somebody else. We couldn't count on Bam because he got in foul trouble. And then Duncan Robinson starts hitting crucial threes. And it was a good sight to see. And I kind of said it, at work the other day, when it was a blowout, basically a blowout loss, that the Bucks and Heat on game 2. But when you really look at the stat line, it actually was a decent scoring game, because Duncan Robinson went off. And I remember somebody sitting in a break room at our job, and I was like, that's a mistake for Milwaukee right there, because you let him catch fire and get a little confidence going into these next few games. That's going to be a recipe for disaster for Milwaukee, because now Duncan Robinson's hitting threes. You have him running all over the place. Now you got to guard the 3-point lane. Now it's more spacing for Jimmy Butler. And look what happened. This guy I think he's 13 for 17 and 3-point. Caleb Martin, I don't know like where you came. You were like, but it's man, it was a fun game to watch yesterday. I'm not gonna deny that fact. Here's let me pull out some of Jimmy Butler's post game comments, because a lot of people don't really give Jimmy Butler the credit he deserves, and I do think that you need to give Jimmy Butler his flowers. So this is him on the post game.
I don't know. I just I love the competitive aspect of it, I guess. I think this is where all the best players, they show up and they show out. And I'm not saying I'm one of those best players. I just want to be looked at as such. And I just go out there and I compete. I want to do everything for my team to win, along with everybody else on this roster. I think Coach Pat and Spo wanted me here for a reason. I feel like this is part of that reason. But the job's not done, so we don't want to get comfortable. We got one more to get.
He is so like he's one of those humble guys, man. But you gotta love Jimmy Butler. But again, like Spo, and Pat Riley, the Heat organization, you need to help Jimmy Butler, man. I don't think that we can win an NBA championship with the current uh, roster that we do have constructed. We need that other person that can be reliable scorer. I was on the hero bandwagon, but I was like, give him a couple more years and so on and so forth. But I haven't really seen that development. Hero is a really good player, but if you want to get in for a trade for a top player, you're gonna have to get rid of Hero. You're gonna have to get rid of some other key pieces, and to help Bam and Jimmy Butler take that next step and winning an NBA Finals. But that's a long road. Again, the Heat are up 3-1 in this series. I am ecstatic as a Heat fan, man, because it's been one of those NBA years that I haven't really been paying attention. One, because I have a 3-year-old daughter that's very, very active and very, very busy, and always wants my attention. And I love that. I want to be that, a great dad. But I was so in tune to football, and football has, there's more storylines I feel with football. And I don't know if some of you guys feel the same way, but that's how I feel. With this NBA season, maybe next season it might be more storylines, but I just feel like this NBA season it wasn't that. It's been more predictable. And maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But that's just my take. But we will go on the next excellent game that we saw was a Lakers game. Lakers winning in overtime. Now, LeBron James, this guy is basically we're the same age, 38 years old. He returned 39 this year, as so as I. But this guy did a 2020, well, 22 points and 20 rebounds. I mean, I can't see like when I was watching the game, to be honest with you, I felt like he was being more passive and not taking over. He was not that LeBron James when he was with the Heat, taking over, scoring 40 points. And I don't know if we're past that era of LeBron James taking over games like that, but he needs to do it with this team because AD is not helping him at all. I mean, there's a gift I showed my friends yesterday where it looks like AD and LeBron, I mean AD and Bam are doing the exact same thing. Like they're not coming up for this playoffs. It's like the Spider-Man gift. Like they're showing, hey, you. It's one of those things that I see with the Lakers, but man, when you need a bucket, LeBron James came down to the wire. LeBron James was the one that took it upon himself. They know that he was going to go right. They couldn't stop it. I mean that getting it over Jaren Jackson, the shot blocker from Memphis, and making that layup, and then this muscling his way through. And there was some key 3-pointers from D'Angelo Russell there. But yeah, AD still not helping out LeBron, and I feel more confident in this 3-1, which I think that the Lakers will win the series than the Heat because again, I don't see Memphis. These guys, I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies talk so much crap on social media and talk crap within the on the court and so on, but they haven't proven anything. They haven't won anything. And I've never seen a team like this that talks so much crap like they've won something and they haven't. And I am hoping, like, this is one of those rare occasions that I go for the Lakers. I am hoping that the Lakers beat Memphis and the social media and everybody just goes in on the Memphis Grizzlies, not even making it out of the first round because and it's a tough opponent. Like you're facing LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The team is not as not as deep, but they have good key pieces with Austin Reeves and so on and so forth. But I just feel like Memphis, you laid an egg again, and I don't know if it's a coaching, I don't know what it is, maybe some players or stuff like that. But Memphis, you're looking kind of suspect, and you don't be talking trash to the Lakers, calling LeBron James old. Don't be talking trash to the Golden State Warriors, that won 4 championships. This is one of those things that you need you get what you deserve, because you're talking all that shit, making fun of people, and that's what happens. But yeah, bro, like again, AD needs to step up. I think he had only 14 points this past game, and LeBron James he's just doing LeBron James things. Out there scoring. I know JC, my co-host, is very, very happy on that aspect that, getting Lakers winning and stuff like that. So texting back and forth. I know he was probably a few white claws down on, on after that OT win. And lastly, we're just going to talk about the New York Jets getting Aaron Rodgers. Now, this is it was expected, them getting Aaron Rodgers, the Jets getting Aaron Rodgers. I do think this is going to be a very, very competitive AFC East, because the front runner has always been Buffalo with Josh Allen being the quarterback. But again, Josh Allen hasn't proven anything. He has lost in the playoffs a lot of times. Um, Basically, people compare him. Hey, he's just another Dak Prescott, which you can't argue with that. And then you have the Dolphins, which with Tua, Dolphins have all the talent in the world, with the wide receivers. Now their defense is going to be outstanding with the addition of Jalen Ramsey. Um, the biggest question mark for the Dolphins: can Tua stay healthy? And then you have Patriots. They suck. I mean, Patriots ain't gonna be good for a while. They got Mac Jones back there. They ain't gonna be good for a while. And I just think that you see how like the Patriots decline after the GOAT Tom Brady left. They're not gonna be. You thought it was Bill Belichick and his coaching. Well, it wasn't. It was TB12 back there chucking that thing and knowing situational football, knowing what to do with the ball. But this division is going to be very, very up for grabs, because when you look at this Jets team is not that bad, bro. Like they had a top defense coming in last year, and then coming in this year, they're probably going to be in top 10, maybe top 15. They do have some shutdown corners. They do have a good front, defensive line. They're kind of weak, I would say, in linebacker core. But now you're gonna have Brees Hall back, and he's coming back from an ACL injury. And usually the first year after ACL, you're kind of a little timid, so you're not as back as 100%. But he was tearing up the league until he got an injury last year. So he's coming back. You're getting some weapons. You got your their current wide receivers, but then you bring in Alan Lazard from Green Bay that has that camaraderie with with Aaron Rodgers already. So that's going to be interesting to see in itself. But I can't. It's look. I want to favor if the Dolphins stay healthy. I want to say the Dolphins win the division, but it ain't gonna be by much, bro. Like it ain't gonna be by much. I'm telling you now. This is gonna come down to the last season, and it's whoever's facing whom, because it might be Dolphins and Jets the last game, and I might just tell you who's going to be, the AFC East champions. Or it might be, Buffalo and the Dolphins, or vice versa, whatever matchup you want. But it's gonna. I think this AFC East is gonna come down to the wire. It might have the AFC East might have 3 teams representing themselves in the playoffs next year. So this is going to be, I think, you know, it's good for Aaron Rodgers. I think he's just doing it just to prove that he does, prove something to himself and prove something to the people that doubted and wanted him to retire. I think that he's staying one more year or he's playing one more year instead of retiring. I think that's like a little ego that he has there. But Green Bay is going to be hurting. I don't, Jordan Love. I don't have any confidence in him. He is a good quarterback, but you're just gonna see Green Bay take a decline. All you Green Bay fans, it's gonna suck. Look, if Milwaukee Bucks start, lose this series, and then you got Green Bay sucking, it's gonna suck in the city of Milwaukee for a long, long time. But look, I want to thank everybody that has tuned in. I know I haven't been on here, quite often as I wanted to be, but again, daddy duties and spending more time with the family. And again, I want to put some good content up there. When I do it, and I like to do it with my friends. But I saw that I look like almost 2 weeks past, and I haven't had a co-host that we can schedule our times. But if you guys want to jump on the podcast and want to do a podcast with me, please DM me on the Big Meat Sports Instagram page. We'll do a podcast together. I am down for having more co-hosts and having more people join the live stream and so on and so forth. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next episode.